Vimose. I don't know how to pronounce it. Forgive me, Nordlings. But it was found in a bog on the island of Funen in Denmark, and it wasn't found. And this is something I wanted for like George and Gabe to pay attention to in the chat. It's not found till 1850 to 1860 AD, right? So again, another thing that nobody notices until the modern era, and it's dated to be from the first few centuries, and it's made out of like antler or whatever. And so I was like, well, what's that? What's like how long would antler last before it rots? And apparently, you know, because the bog is underwater, it doesn't get the bugs and all that stuff. Apparently, it's totally doable. But for those of you who grew up in the 90s, you might have remembered the wooden desks that everybody had and the carvings on them. And that's really all it looks like. There's like nothing exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
This is not in a time where people don't have skills for carving, right? Like they're making realistic marble statues.
It's a
like,
time where actually the time and attention to make something beautiful and ornate was usually taken. You know,
it was available. Yeah.
And we know it's a priest language.
The forefathers looking down on us like, all your shit is sloppy. What are you doing?
Right. Unless, of course, a king did this, right? Which is because they couldn't do nothing. But I, you know, I wanted to mention earlier, I just wanted to throw it out, is that Shakespeare had the king's men as his troupe, you know? So, of course, it might have been more of an implication of the illiteracy of the whole thing. But this really does look like, it looks like chicken scratch. I mean, I don't want to be so...
Go over the where this is supposed to have come from and the age of it again.
It was found in a bog. Remember how I was telling you, like, one of the ways they find stuff in Ireland and stuff is because when the wars were coming, they would store their valuables in the water so that nobody would be able to find them. And that's why they're found later on, is because the person probably died in battle or whatever, or was forced to flee. But and I'm not saying it's not possible for this to happen. I just wanted to bring it out there. So it's found on an island in Funen in Denmark. It's called the Vimose, I think, hoard, or the Vimose. There's a bunch of different artifacts you can look up. And it wasn't noticed until 1850 to 1860 AD. And historically, people know me. I call this like the height of archaeological charlatanry because of all this shit that's coming out. We're getting dinosaurs, you know, everything.
All of a sudden, 1850. You're right.
But I wanted
big marker.
Yeah, and the thing I wanted to bring to your attention, guys, is like back then, if that is dated correctly, the only people that knew language are going to be the priests or alphabets.